So welcome all to another chapter of my podcast, Exporte Deporte. Today with a super nice
Hello.
invitation, and I guess it's an honor for me. It's chapter 13 in a Friday 13 actually. So good marketing, already good marketing strategy from us. Then my guest would tell me better if it's or not. But yeah, for me it's a pleasure to have you here, Greta. She will now introduce herself a bit better. But yeah, she's in the other side of the world. I'm in Germany. I'm in Berlin. But yeah, thanks for taking the time to do the interview, Greta. And
Thank you for inviting me, actually.
yeah, so yeah, let my publicum know a bit. Who are you? What you're doing, and then we enter a lot in what's your life, and yeah, that's all.
Yes. So I'm Greta. I'm 21. I'm originally from Germany. I'm studying sports management in Cape Town, South Africa, because I did an internship here last year and then decided to move because I fell in love with the city and the country. And besides that, I'm a freelancer for sporting events and also the new merchandise manager of Hyrox South Africa, which just launched here. It's originally from Germany, but it's the first ever Hyrox in Africa in general next year. No, this year actually. Oh shit, next week. My head is not working anymore.
Fresh
So yeah,
start.
it's very exciting.
Yeah, nice. Okay, that's literally a fresh start, no? From last week, actually, like news.
Yeah.
Cool.
They kind of hired me 3 weeks late because now I have to do everything within a week.
Okay, stressful. Yeah. So yeah, thanks again
yeah.
for taking the time for being with us. For me, it was really important to talk about your story, to tell my publicum, my public, who are you, and to show your life. So let's start a bit from the beginning. How was your childhood in Germany? What was your connection from sports from the beginning? And how was your first steps?
Okay, so I grew up in Bielefeld, which is more in Western Germany, like in the south of Hamburg. And I was always connected to sports because of my mom. She worked for Arminia Bielefeld, which is a football club. And I started to do gymnastics when I was very young. So I got into sports very early. I was quite good. I was in the, they wanted to get me to the national team, but then I had an accident. So I had to stop, which brought me to sports management. We moved to Hamburg in 2011 when my mom took me to my first ever women's run when I was 12. And then I just fell in love with sporting events. And then I always came with her and became part of the team. She was my boss and I learned a lot from her. And now it's the other way around. I'm her boss.
That's pretty nice story from the beginning. And how was your first steps in what is apart from sport, what, like your first works or experiences in sports? And then we can definitely connect it with the last time and the point that we met and we kind of like created all this interview.
Yeah, well, I did sports by myself. I was an athlete, and then I always came to the football club to my mom, so I knew how she's working and what she's doing, and it was always interesting for me. I was never a language person. I was never a math person, biology, no, boring. For me, it was always sports. Not because I'm quite lazy. Well, I enjoy sports, but I'm more lazy and laid back. So I was like, okay, no, let me just lay back and do other people do the sport, and I'll just manage them because that's what I can do. And my mom took me to my first event, as I said, which led me to work for Ironman and then some other events like the Cyclassics or the marathon. And I ended up in Berlin last year working as a volunteer, like a key volunteer for social media for the Special Olympics World Games, where I met you.
Amazing. That's the best part. But yeah, I think that's something that we all have in common, that we work in sports, that we all like the sports, but we don't like doing them or being like in the first scene. Yeah. So we do all the background. And that's, I think, that we both share the most experience. But how was that moment when you had to enroll for that volunteering, what was the thing that most called your attention for, okay, I will enroll in being volunteer and I will go to Berlin for the Special Olympic? What motivated you for first?
Well, first of all, the fact that we had such a major event in Germany is amazing, because the last time we had it was, I can't even remember, like maybe 2006, the World Cup. So it's actually pretty cool to have such a big event in your own country where you live. So I think you should be part of it and present your country as a dynamic host. And second, I just love to connect with people. And because of my background with like sports management, working for Ironman as a volunteer manager, I'm connected to volunteering as well. And also I always had like a little link for social media. And then there was this opportunity to be part of that social media volunteer group. So I applied for that, especially because it's something new. It's not Ironman, it's not a triathlon, it's not football, it's actually the Olympics, but for people with disabilities. And I have a dog, and he's a therapy dog. So we used to take him to places where he can do therapy with people with disabilities. So I was kind of connected to that. And I was always interested in working with them. So yeah, I thought that's the perfect idea.
Cool. Yeah, for the people that follow you in social media, your dog is quite seen already, right?
Yeah.
It appears, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, that's cool. And how was I mean, your expectations for sure high, but what did you find when you arrived to Berlin to this Special Olympics? How was the people? How were the activities?
No, I was shocked. Like, literally, I didn't expect that at all. I came with high expectations because I know that also these people are super capable to do anything, and also on the same level as any other person in the world. So I was expecting a lot, but even that was more than I would have expected. So when I came there, it basically opened my eyes and turned my view in sports kind of upside down. And basically like witnessing the athletes overcoming challenges and celebrating their abilities made me realize how sport can transcend competition and become like a platform for unity and inclusion and joy, to unite people and just be happy all together. It doesn't matter if you're first place or fifth place or 10th place. Everyone got a medal and everyone was celebrating, and it was so inclusive, because I always feel like, for example, for the Olympics, it's so strict. It feels so like off, because you have the athletes and everything is like super fancy and VIP. And here, of course, as well, every athlete is treated super nice and super important, but still on the other side, we get to party with them. Like as volunteers, we party with them on the street. Like, how cool. We were so close, and there would never be the same opportunity for any other sporting event.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. The connection with the sports people in that event was completely different than others.
Yeah,
definitely. Cool. And if you need to choose a moment from that Special Olympic that you will always remember, or that you kept in your mind when that passed, or what was your best highlight?
I think the best highlight was the opening ceremony, for sure, because that's when you were able to see your first emotions. Of course, people were excited when they arrived and blah blah blah, but actually when they were in the stadium, I was downstairs when they were in the stadium, walking in with like this music and the flags, and we literally saw them crying, and it was so, I get goosebumps now. It was so touchy, and these people enjoying their sport and being so passionate and enthusiastic about what they are doing was very, very touchy. I always remember this one guy. He was a legend. He was from the USA, and he did powerlifting. And he celebrated his life like he just won the elections, or he became a president or whatever, he cheered and he was like, yeah, and everyone was infected by that. It was insane, and that was probably my best moment. Yeah.
Cool, that's cool. And in terms of professionally, in terms of the work that you had to do or that we have to do, what was the thing that you most got from it, or yeah, that you could show the people like, okay, yeah, I did this, it was amazing. What was perhaps the highlight of doing that work in media?
Well, when I work in media, I love to capture emotions, and that's why I do it. It's not because I want to be part of like something big, or I want to whatever be close to the athletes. No, for me it doesn't matter if it's you, or if it's an athlete, or if it's a waiter. I just love the fact that you capture the emotions and you see it, and I feel like I have quite a good eye for capturing emotions in the right time. So that's always a reward in the end when you see pictures and videos. But in general, I would say I just learn a lot from any single event that I'm doing, like through my experiences working at both like small community events, but also big championships. I learned that every opportunity, like no matter the scale, is valuable and shapes your path. And every step of the journey has been fueled by a love for sport and a belief in the power of teamwork.
That's amazing.
So I can step out and take a picture, but it's so much cooler if we do it as a team, because you get it from all these different sides.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I think the phrase from the Special Olympic was united and something more, or united we are better, or something like that. So that's really, really cool. Yeah. And now getting into the topic about communications, media, and the work that you're doing now and studying in South Africa as well. If you can relate of how was the change from your point of view in terms of social media, how was the evolution in the sports space specifically? Like nowadays, how is that, especially between Germany and South Africa? What can you tell us about how they work social media in sports for you?
Well, for my internship, I went to a football club called Halfway United Football Community, and they teamed up with a international football academy called Fleetwood Town International Football Academy, based in the UK, but they have different locations all over the world. Cape Town is one of them. So they shared a place, and I did the social media for both of them. And this one was very good. But in general, I would say that social media, or like media in general, is not on the same level as it is in Europe, because, well, I can't really tell the difference. I think the biggest difference between South Africa and Germany is a mix between aesthetic and then also how they set up their social media. Because every time when I look at Instagram accounts, of course not all of them, but a lot is like, who designed that? Like, who's working there? Because I feel like it's so unaesthetic and doesn't really look good, and there's no scheme, no idea behind it, no content plan. They just put anything together. And for example, for my football club, the idea of social media was amazing, but the problem is that every time when there's a new volunteer coming or a new intern, because the club is based on that, there's a new person doing their social media, and every time it looks a bit different. And that's just, in the end, it's just hectic. It looks hectic and it seems hectic, and they don't have a proper plan. But that's for everyone here, I think.
Okay.
So there is a lot of work to do, but I mean, still, it's quite good. Like, it's not bad at all.
Okay, cool. It's about you would think that more about like the budget, or more about that they don't really put a lot of interest on what is social media? there, or a mixed also?
I think it's definitely a mix.
Okay.
Definitely budget is a problem here. But also, well, I always feel bad when I say that, but maybe it's also because of interest, because it's, as I said, I don't even have a proper camera. I always take pictures with my phone and I still can manage to do whatever. And I think my Instagram looks quite okay. But if you compare to big sport clubs, it's sometimes even worse. And you're like, no man, it just needs one person who's able to do that and has a good eye for capturing these emotions. But maybe there are not as many, or they don't find the right people for it.
Yeah. And while working in Europe and also in South Africa, when you had to work with athletes or sports events, what you would say from your experience would be the most challenging things while working with athletes and social media in sports?
Oh, that always depends, like what you are doing exactly. So when I have a lot of different experiences, I worked for different departments. Mostly it was volunteer management or social media. And I did a bit of social media for the Euros just now in Hamburg, the UEFA Euro 2024. And I think that was the hardest part of everything I experienced, because there are so many guidelines and so many restrictions and rules and stuff that you need to have in mind when you think about sponsors, when you think about rights, because that was a big thing, especially for the quarterfinal, France against Portugal. That was hectic, and there were like literally strict rules: where to go, what to film, what not to film, who to talk to, who not to talk to. And you can't compare that, for example, to the Special Olympics, because there we were on site, on the pitch, just interviewing random athletes, and here, no, there's a distance. So you can't really bring the same to the people as you would do in Special Olympics, for example.
Yeah, definitely Special Olympics. Because, I think when the events are smaller, perhaps you have more freedom to do stuff and to bring more, perhaps even better material, because there's also not so much competition. That's also
it always depends. Like, I think you can have good material everywhere, but it does seem a bit more touching if you can capture and catch emotions, and you can definitely catch them better in events like the Special Olympics or smaller events than you can do in big events with UEFA or FIFA or the IOC.
Cool. And now that you mentioned the experience by the UEFA in Euros and again in Germany, telling us a bit about that. I mean, I've seen it through your Instagram, but you were like in semifinals, final with France team as well. How was that experience? You were super near the players, doing interviews as well.
Yes, that was insane. Like, last year I applied to be a volunteer, and I got waitlisted because I wasn't in Germany. I was in South Africa. So they told me basically that they aren't sure if I would really be there and if they can rely on me because it's so far away. But then I went to Hamburg this year. My idea was to come here only for 3 weeks. And then I got a call from Leon, one of the guys from the volunteer management team. And he was like, hey, Greta, are you in Germany by any chance? It's like, yeah, cool. Do you want to help us out for a kickoff in Hamburg? And I was like, yo, definitely. Whoa, exciting. And then then I asked them if they need any help, like with the preparations for the events and whatever, because all these volunteers only start, or like most of them only start in June, July, and it was April that time. So I asked them if they need any help before that, and they were like, yeah, why don't you come to the office on Monday? So on Monday I went to the office. They were like, okay, this is our new intern. And I was like, what? So I turned out to be an intern in the end for the Euros, which was quite nice. And I got a lot of insights, especially, of course, in volunteer management, because I was part of a volunteer management team. But also ceremonies, that was really cool. So I was close to the pitch. I talked to the guys that were responsible for ceremonies. I helped them out a bit. I was on site, like on the pitch, telling them like when to go, and took videos, and also like for incidents, for example, when the players arrive with the bus, VIP arrivals, everything. I went to a hotel in like downtown Hamburg, where all the UEFA stuff was working, or like special guests. So that was interesting, very interesting. And it was so close because you were literally in the middle of whatever happens. And I never expected that because it was so random. It was out of nowhere. One day to the next, I got a call like, job. Cool.
That's unbelievable. So this time you were also in the mixed zone, what they call it in football stadium, the evil person that decides, okay, you can get the interview, you cannot. This time you were
no. It wasn't. No, I wasn't the person who decided who got an interview or whatever. No, not that. But I was part of like the process around. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. And to give a close into this part about communication, so in yourself, personally yourself, do you like to show a lot about yourself in the Instagram, or how you manage that, or you prefer being more like in the back? How's that?
No, I'm definitely an open book. I always love to share what I experience. I'm a free spirit. I do a mix between traveling, working, gym, everything, and I try to show that as well, but not in like in a very open way where I share every single information, but more like that people know, okay, where's she right now? What is she doing? Whatever, in this month or whatever. But not like a get ready with me today, I'm going to the gym, styling my hair kind of thing. No.
TikTok. Yeah.
But I like to be present, and I like to share, and I like to inspire people and motivate them. I always try to share some positivity. Yeah.
Nice. So we're leaving here your Instagram so the people can follow you and follow the stories of Greta Goes Wild and all the
Greta Goes Wild in Guatemala, by the way, in January. So don't want to.
That's a premiere. There's a new.
There's a new series, a new season coming out.
South America for the Spanish-speaking community. There you go.
Sí, vamos.
Cool. That's nice. Cool. So now getting to another topic that we wanted to talk, that we arranged during the week also, that was nice to mention about yourself and your experience was the female part of you, and how's that working in the sports field. The sports field is, as all the people know, is quite a men's field from the history. So it's nice that we have this opportunity to tell your story. And I think you're also, as I said in the beginning, like an inspiration for much more women that want to work in the field. So I wanted to ask you, how were your experiences in that way in the field of sports and communication, and how was perhaps more in Europe, and now how you feel in South Africa, if there are also changes in the way of working?
Well, I think in general there aren't that many women working in sports, and I think it's quite the same all over the world, but we're getting there. We're slowly getting there, especially like now for the Euros. There were a lot of women as well in the team, but definitely more men, still more men. Here in South Africa, it's even more men than women, because the culture, well, it allows, but the idea of the culture and the tradition says that the women are at home cooking for the man while he's at work. People working in sport, it's men. And that's sad, because I feel like girls and women, they have like an undeniable place in every level, and from athletes to managers to whatever decision makers in general, because a lot of women in the world are not even allowed to make a decision. And I really want to show that with like the hard work. I did a lot of steps. Everyone is like, Greta, how do you do that? How do you get those connections? It's not like I do this and then everything falls to my feet. No, it's a lot of decisions I made in my life and a lot of different steps that I took. So it was connected to hard work and the openness to learning and being open-minded in general and being positive. And if you have the courage to pursue your dreams, then I think women can break down barriers and thrive the industry. And most importantly, I hope to inspire like others to climb up and be like, hey girls, let's go. We can do that, and create opportunities for like future generations in general, of women to lead with confidence and compassion to sports, a lot of positivity, and a good eye for aesthetics. Because I feel like we are more aesthetic than men, so sports need that.
Agree. That's true. And so how you want to see yourself talking in this topic in a couple of years, or what's the like how you want to be as a role model for other women in the field of sports? How you want to see your legacy in a couple of years? If we do the interview in a couple of years and I ask the Greta of 5 years more.
Well, I don't have like a plan to promote female leadership in sports. I want to follow my path, and I strongly believe that every single thing happens for a reason. And if it doesn't happen now, then it's because the universe has a better plan for you. So I always wait what comes. But of course, I have some ideas. For example, now I got to work for Hyrox South Africa. So let's see how that develops. But also I applied for the FISU World University Games next year in Germany and the UEFA Euro for women's in Switzerland also next year. So fingers crossed that works out. I really want to work for the FIFA World Cup if possible, because I finish my studies next year as well. And then Special Olympics again in Chile. Maybe that's an idea.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that's a vision that I might achieve. I might fulfill. Let's see. If not, then it's fine, because I know there will be opportunities. If not now, then in the future. And I just hope that everyone knows that. And it doesn't happen from today to tomorrow. It's not working in 2 days. And I'm sure, like just now with the Olympics in Paris, it was a great achievement already that we had 50% men and 50% women for athletes. So if we can keep that up, not because we want to reach a number, but because it actually happens naturally, organically, then I think we learned a lot and we achieved a lot. And if we can achieve the same for the working field, for managing, for leaders, then we are on a good path.
Yeah, that's a really nice message for the people listening. So yeah, we drücken die Daumen für dich. We cross the fingers for you to get that place in the Euros for the women. I actually apply myself as well, so I hope I can be a volunteer as well. Yeah, next year.
What are you for a volunteer?
Yeah, for volunteering. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So it's like a early sign up. So
yeah,
cool. I think the official registration, in case anyone listens, the official registration I think opens on the 1st of October.
Okay.
The only thing is that accommodation is not paid. So
but if you want to work with Greta and have the experience of it, then follow the link.
Well, fingers crossed that I get to work. If not, I'll be a volunteer as well, hopefully.
That's cool. Perhaps one of the people listening take your place. We'll see. But yeah,
in case one of you hires me, is working in UEFA Human Resources.
Yeah, that's a call.
I sent my application.
Yeah, why not? They might be listening the interview. Why not? Yeah, I mean, for the people that follow your story, and me as well, it's incredible from my point of view how you been like crossing all the barriers, and like everything that you literally applied, you get it, and kind of like every month or week was like a new, like for the people following you was like a new, like an amazing new, like, okay, I get this, I got this, and this is really, like for me, really valuable what you do. So yeah, it's really amazing. And going through this and like the end part of the interview, I wanted to go to the present and to tell the people a bit, like, yeah, how you finish. I think you told us a bit about how you finished up in South Africa, why South Africa a bit, and yeah, that's yeah. And how was the decision as well? I know it was not easy at all for your family, your dog, and your people, but yeah.
My dog. First of all, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm also quite surprised actually what I managed to do so far, because I'm so young and 21, and I have so many experiences, and I'm very grateful for that, because I know that a lot of people don't have the like, first of all, the experience, and also not the opportunity. So I'm very grateful, and I don't take it for granted at all. But yeah, coming to Cape Town, well, I came here for the first time in 2019, and I fell in love with the country, with the culture, with the people. So I always wanted to come back for a longer time. And then I started to study in Germany, and it's mandatory to do an internship within your studies. So I came here for 6 months, because I was like, yeah, finally, I have the opportunity to go overseas, because I know Germany. If I can do an internship, let me do it abroad, because different traditions, different cultures, different people, different mentality. Let's go to South Africa. Well, I came here last year in July, did my internship with a football club, and then literally 2 months later, I remember the day I called my mom, and I was like, well, I'm not coming back, by the way.
Wow.
And she was like, oh yeah, how can I help you with a visa? And I was so scared, because I told her, or like before I called her, I thought she might be mad and won't support that. But on the other side, I know she always supports me in everything I do. So yeah, it wasn't a surprise that she helped me out a lot. So in January this year, I went back to Germany to sort out my study visa. I applied for a uni here, ETA College in Rondebosch, Cape Town. It's a sports college, especially for like being a gym instructor or sports manager, something like that. You can get a diploma or a degree. And then I got accepted, applied for my study visa in Berlin in January, got it after 2 weeks. It was super, super fast. Didn't expect that. And then I came back here. I rented a place while I was in Germany. I rented a place here. Basically, I found it online. It's a house for 7 people. I found it online. Then we have a website called Roomies. I looked for roomies. I had a call with them. I sent one of the girls to look the place. She was like, oh yeah, it's a nice place. So I literally rented the place without knowing the people, without seeing the place by myself. And then I came back here in February, and luckily it wasn't a scam. I literally live there now with these amazing girls. So it's perfect. I study, and yeah, that's how I came here. Sometimes I still wake up, and sometimes I start to speak German to people, and then they answer in English. And I'm like, why do you speak English? But then I remember that I'm here. So yeah.
Yeah, the mission zwischen Deutsch and English all the time. Yeah, that's cool.
Yes,
That's nice.
always.
Yeah. And when you left Germany, you had like, I mean, the decision I feel you took the decision really like 100% sure, but of course you had like the fears of like leaving Germany. You still have that, or you just already feel like a second home, Cape Town?
I would say it's more the other way around. I was never scared, because I'm not a person that needs to be close to my family. I was always a traveler, so that wasn't a problem. And since I knew the country for 6 months, during my internship, it wasn't hard for me to make a decision to stay. But I would say in the beginning, it was a lot of pink glasses, and we didn't really care what the people actually do here and what the structure is and what the mentality is. And I still love it, and I would do it again. But now that I've found my routine and my daily life, I'm like, oh my, sometimes I really want to grab the people and just shake them, like, wake up, because it's sometimes really annoying if you come here with a European mentality, which definitely collides with South African mentality. For example, everyone is late. Like, you could have a class at 9, and I text to the group, hey guys, sorry, I'm a bit late. A bit late means 2 minutes. People are like, oh, same, they're an hour late. If you want to meet up, it's 3 sharp, you have to tell them 2, otherwise they won't make it.
With the German culture of being punctual, crushes totally.
Yeah, but I don't think it's all over Cape Town or all over South Africa. If you compare, for example, Johannesburg and Cape Town, you see that Johannesburg is so much faster. It's a fast pace, and here people are laid back. They have the beach, they're like pula pula, hakuna matata, let me chill a bit. And they go to the beach, and then they see this coffee shop next to their working space, and they're like, oh, actually, meeting was like 10 minutes ago. I'm already late, so now I have the time to grab a coffee again as well. So they're even more late. But that's okay. On one side, it's cool because people are so chilled and everyone is so friendly. But on the other side, work-wise.
Okay. Yeah. But with the differences with Europe, you see yourself that you adapt really well, right, to the new environment.
Yeah, I'm always super adaptable to new environments and new working methods and whatnot. I think for the future, I would definitely prefer to work overseas. Of course, money is part of that as well, because the salary here is very low. They don't have an actual minimum wage. They do, but you can't really call it like this. So yeah, in terms of money, which is not that important for me, I prefer to have fun doing work and not looking out for a lot of money. So yeah, but in the end, it's still important. So money-wise, I would definitely prefer a job back in Europe or the US or in wherever, Eastern Asia, Western Asia.
Yeah, that's cool.
Somewhere.
Nice. So for the last part of the interview, I prepared a ping pong, 5 questions, quickly. And yeah, perhaps you will be in the middle of some. They're quite tricky. So to start with, you need to choose between Hamburg / Constance / Bielefeld or Cape Town. You need to choose one.
Oh, Cape Town.
Cape Town. Oof. Okay. And the second one, Instagram stories or TikTok videos?
Instagram stories.
Okay. Yeah, cool. And the third one, Bundesliga football or South African rugby? Oh, yeah.
Oh. So, well, I would say Bundesliga, yeah.
Oof. Okay. The reason? You can you can argument.
Yeah. Well, I would say it's more structured, first of all, and more developed and much bigger. You can watch it everywhere. You can watch first division, second, third, whatever. And here, if you go to the stadium, it's never sold out. The only cool thing is the environment and the atmosphere. That's like the spectators are cooler. But besides that, I would say Bundesliga. There's more passion behind it.
Okay, cool.
From my point of view.
Yeah. The fourth one would be a morning hike in the mountains of South Africa or a cycling by the Spree in Hamburg.
Well, we don't have to stay in Hamburg. Definitely a morning hike in the mountains of Cape Town. Yeah.
And the fifth to finish is Instagram in German or in English?
English.
English.
Because you can reach more people.
Okay, cool.
You can, I'm always a bit scared. I would love to do more videos and stuff, but I'm always a bit scared to speak because I feel like there's still a bit of a judgment in society when people have a German accent. They're always like, ha, she's from Germany. And I don't want that. But it's fine. Like we're slowly getting there. Now that I have to do an interview in English, it's okay. I can't speak English.
You're fine with it. That's cool. So yeah, Greta, thanks a lot for the time. We don't want to borrow you more of your time in South Africa. I hope you enjoyed the interview. For me, it was really nice.
I did. Thank you again.
Yeah, to connect again, to talk
was
again.
So cool, yeah.
That's cool. And to
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, to let the people know a bit, the people that know me, to know a bit about your story. So that's really amazing. And thanks for the time. And yeah, hope you
Thank you for interviewing and thank you for listening, guys.
That's amazing. And yeah, hope you reach everything from your next objectives. Will be looking forward to it and looking your Instagram and your projects. And for me, thanks again, was really a pleasure. A pleasure. Yeah. A pleasure.
Yeah, same. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I had fun. I never did an interview or like a podcast before, so cool. It's interesting to see how that goes. Cool. Please all listen to Matthew's podcast. I'm sure you will all like it.
And and in few years,
a lot of cool topics.
Yeah, see, perhaps in a few years when you do more interviews, then that will be the first one.